Also in Florida, new information about the number of African Americans voting early in the state. Now, here's the data. According to data provided by our partners at Target Smart, black voters make up 11.4% of votes cast so far. That is slightly down from 4 years ago when black voters made up 13% of the early vote at the time. Joining me now to break down the numbers, Henry Crespo, president of the Democratic Black Caucus of Florida, and Corinne Jean-Pierre, senior advisor and national spokesperson for MoveOn.org. And Corinne served as deputy battleground states director for President Obama's 2012 re-election. Corinne, thank you so much for joining us again. Really appreciate it. Let's start with this breakdown. You and I have seen the headlines for the past week or so that black voters are not enthusiastic in Florida for Hillary Clinton. Is it fair to compare the black voter turnout when you had a candidate like Barack Obama, the first person who was on his way to the White House, to the turnout for Hillary Clinton?
Well, yes. I mean, look, the historical nature of having Barack Obama at the top of the ticket on the ballot certainly helped tremendously. But look, Tamron, we always knew that Hillary Clinton was going to get the same percentage of African-American voters. The question was always, would she get that raw vote total? And clearly, the early voting shows us that there needs some work, right? She needs some work to do, and they have to continue, going into the black community. The slate did a report on Monday, which I think was really key, which is they talked about Tim Kaine, high-level clearly surrogate, going into Sanford, North Carolina. And why Sanford? It's a small town, 30,000 people, but 30% of the electorate is African-American, and Barack Obama won that 30%. And so I think what you'll see is more of that, of high-level surrogates going into these smaller towns where you see a high number of African-American voters.
Well, there are only 6 days left. So, yeah. I mean, it's not like we're talking a month out here.
Yeah, but the thing about it, too, is if you look at yesterday, Hillary Clinton and her surrogates hit 14 media markets. Right. And I think that's the advantage that Hillary Clinton has that Donald Trump doesn't.
Henry, let me read from this BuzzFeed article that was posted last night. It says you can't compare 2008 and 2012 black turnout because of the Obama factor. This was a Democratic strategist quoted there with ties to the campaign. They say the numbers are low, so there is still that difference. But I do agree that not enough has been done to engage the black community, and people have been telling the DNC and the campaign this for months. What do you think of that observation from the Democratic strategist?
Well, Tamara, hello, and thank you for having me. I think, to some extent they're correct on that. I mean, look, 2012 compared to 2016 is like apples and oranges, collard green and grapes, right? What really needs to happen is that the campaign needs to really double down in voter engagement and outreach. Back in 2012, you knew who voted, who early voted, who sent out absentee ballots, and those people by this time, all the way to Election Day, right, were either called or someone knocked on their door. And one thing that we're not, really talking about that in the state of Florida, in some counties, you have the polls are open till Sunday. So what do you have? On that day, the biggest souls to the polls movement is going to go down in the state of Florida, which is going to take out a whole lot of voters to the polls.
Well, we'll see what happens Sunday. I think Corinne agrees with that. She's saying that there's not enough data yet, so we'll see what those numbers show after Sunday. Thank you both for joining us. Really appreciate it. Corinne Jean-Pierre and Henry Crespo. Thank you, darling. Up next, we'll be right back.